supply chain analytics, to be held for 2 days with the cooperation of OSTİM Technical University and IBM of United States. I would like to invite now Professor Dr. Serhan Dağtaş of OSTİM Technical University to the podium to deliver his speech. Sir.
Well, distinguished guests and participants at our workshop from all over the world, on behalf of the organizing committee of ISCA, the OSTİMtech IBM workshop on AI and supply chain analytics in smart manufacturing, I would like to offer our warm welcome wishes and our heartfelt thanks to all of you for being here and participating at our event. This workshop that we're all attending today grew out of a collaboration between OSTİMtech, a young, ambitious university, technical university here in Ankara, and with deep roots in industry and technology, with a long background, and the equally ambitious and dynamic data science and AI-focused team at IBM USA. This fruitful collaboration has already resulted in a number of outcomes in the form of joint panel sessions that we have attended together, conference presentations, webinars, publications, and grant proposals. Today, we are joined by over 110 participants from different corners of the world, from the United States to Indonesia, to hear from 3 distinguished speakers from IBM and complete the hands-on workshops, training sessions afterwards on the critical subject of data-centric supply chain management. As we all know, the recent events with the blockage of the Suez Canal and its huge implications on the global supply chain has once again underlined the critical importance of the global supply chain and its effective management through AI and other modern approaches. We are all excited about hearing from Mike, Dale, and Jesse today, as well as tomorrow, on the topics of AI and supply chain analytics, smart scheduling with machine learning, and data-driven models for condition monitoring and prognostic analysis of complex systems. So prior to the start of the training sessions in a little while, we're going to hear from Mr. Eren Yılmaz, Director of Industry 4.0 Innovation at Stanley Black & Decker in the USA, with his presentation on a case study bringing AI into reality in complex global supply chains. We thank Mr. Yılmaz for his participation at the workshop and his contribution in turning this collaboration between OSTİMtech and IBM to such an exciting workshop. We are honored today with the company of Dr. Ali Taha Koç here, the head of Digital Transformation Office at the Presidency of Turkey, a newly established organization. Dr. Koç's team spearheads the digital transformation efforts of the public sector here in Turkey, with a focus on cybersecurity, national technologies, big data, and artificial intelligence. We are looking forward to hearing Dr. Koç's perspectives in his keynote address in a little while today. Last but not least, I would like to acknowledge the tireless efforts of the members of the organizing committee of this workshop, who made this great event possible with their hard work up till now. Professor Demiral Akbar here, and Mr. Selim Girayalp, who is our host, Ms. Egehan Özkan here, Ms. Gülden Kaya, and Mr. Ali Osman Karcı have all worked hard on the OSTİMtech to make this event possible here. And from the IBM side, Dr. Ben Amaba, who is going to address us in a few minutes, the CTO of AI, Data Sciences Sector, and Mr. Jeff Bays, Global Industry CTO at IBM USA, have all contributed greatly, and we're grateful for their help. I'd like to also thank the members of the Greater OSTİM family community for hosting this workshop, and in particular our rector, Professor Murat Yülek at OSTİMtech, for their generous support and help and participation. And I would like to wish everybody again a great, fruitful workshop, and I would like to welcome you all. Thank you, and hoş geldiniz.
Thank you so much for your speech, sir. Now, we are connecting online to invite the CTO of IBM, Dr. Ben Amaba from United States, in order to deliver his speech and presentation. Sir, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you very much. I really want to thank Dr. Dartas for putting this together, the organizing committee, the speakers and panelists. This is an honor to be here. And if we may, I'd like to start the PowerPoint slide in presentation mode to just kind of open up of why we are here and the importance of why we are here. So if you could put it in presentation mode, that'd be great for the presentation, and I'll get started. So over the next decade, AI won't replace managers, but managers who use AI will replace those who don't. Harvard Business Review. Because what we're finding around the world is we are drowning information, but starve for knowledge. John Nesbitt from Megatrends. So if we go to the next slide, one of the key things that I want you guys to take away, if you could go to the next slide, is the cost of not acting, as we heard from the Suez Canal, the supply chain, COVID-19, and certain barriers around. The cost of not acting specifically has been detrimental when not using AI or considering it in cybersecurity, as you heard before. As we go to the next screen, all around the world, what we're seeing is that, if you could flip to the next screen, is that data science is really getting serious around the world. Over 80% of companies, institutions, and individuals have actually started a prototype. It has become the baseline of the art of persuasion. And some will say that it is the job of the 21st century, given all the volatility around the world. But what's interesting as we go to the next slide is we're so dependent on it now as we go from a prototype to actual software. The art of creating it continues to be a dark mystery. And never in history have we depended on so completely on a product that so few know how to make well. And that's why today is so important, because you're going to get to actually see what it is made of, how it works, and why it works. Next slide, please. Now, I will say the difference that you'll see around the world and why it's significant on the right-hand side, it's been able to empower decision makers to make better decisions. It's improved the reliability, speed to responsiveness, and the ability to monitor and report change, which we see all around us today in the world. Now, I will close with one more slide on the next slide. And this, to me, is one of the most important things that I see out there today. These two quotes. Today, I will do what others won't. That's what you're doing today. So tomorrow, I can do what others can't. And this is why it's so key that we are here in partnership with OSTİM, the speakers, the panel members, and the organizing committee. Because AI is no longer science fiction, as we've heard from Carnegie Mellon, but science fact from Dr. Mario Savedas. So with that, again, thank you for attending. We look forward to a sustainable partnerships and the benefits that we can bring to the table. Dr. Dartas, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Murat Yülek Rector of OSTİM Technical University, to the podium to deliver his opening speech. Sir.
Distinguished guests, distinguished chairman, dear friends, at OSTİM Technical University, we are adapting to the new digital transformation of the future with its entrepreneurial education model and a competence-based education system. This is the vision binding us together with IBM at today's workshop. This is also a bind between us and the Turkish President's Digital Transformation Office. Digitalization, which is an absolute necessity for business in our era, it significantly affects the development of new generation supply chains, offering both flexibility and efficiency at the same time. In recent years, an increase in the intensity of the competitive environment which is surrounding us, globalization, rapid development in technology, and the increase in the complexity of networks in the supply chain, and a shortening of product life cycles have caused businesses to review their supply chain strategies. Actually, the recent effect of COVID, we have to underline it here that now the supply chain has become so critical for the whole business world in the global framework. In this respect, businesses wishing to compete under these changing circumstances have to manage their own supply chains effectively and efficiently. In doing that, it is vitally important for real-time information to be shared for coordination to be ensured among supply chain partners. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we are witnessing the acceleration of digital transformation as companies try to equip their employees in order to work remotely during the pandemic. Many of them have increased their adaptation speed to cope up with the technological changes. They realized how quickly they could complete their transition to cloud and cloud-enabled artificial intelligence. So, as we say in Turkish, sometimes problems and disasters are more useful than a lot of advice. So COVID-19 has actually taught us this fact. Today, every company in each sector seeks to create a much stronger digital foundation to fundamentally changing their structure in order to carry out and complete their operations. This is an inevitable fact and irreversible process. In this context, as OSTİM Technical University, the only industrial university in the world as of now, we believe that Smart Production and Supply Chain Analytics Workshop that we have organized together with our dear friends in the US, IBM, especially Ben Amaba and his team, this workshop activity realized in cooperation with them offer new business models based on developing digital technologies, will open new horizons to everyone who participates in this two-day workshop. And I wish that this opportunity is well taken by all the businesses in and around OSTİM, not only in Turkey, but from countries from the US to Indonesia. I hope that this workshop is useful to all of them. And I thank Ben Ababa and his team, as well as our dear President of the Digital Transformation Office of the Turkish Presidency, for being here. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much for your speech. Now, we would like to invite Dr. Ali Taha Koç, Head of Digital Transform. I'm sorry. Okay. Now we are connecting online to invite Mr. Eren Yılmaz, Director of Industry 4.0 Innovation, Stanley Black & Decker, United States, to deliver his speech on his case study, Bringing Artificial Intelligence into Reality in Complex Global Supply Chains. Sir, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, you can start your speech, sir.
Okay, perfect. So, first of all, thanks for everyone organizing this wonderful workshop today. It's great to be here. So, today I want to tell you quickly about the next frontier in artificial intelligence, especially in the context of supply chains. Because in the recent years, the technology has grown and developed very rapidly. So there are so many companies and so many products competing in the AI space for supply chain products and solutions. So the technology in the supply end is there and very robust. And also on the market side, now I think AI is the top topic that excites executives the most. Everyone is chasing AI use cases. Everyone wants to do something with AI and leverage the speed and intelligence type of use cases. So demand is also there. But what's missing is solutions that scale globally, act globally, and solutions that act as a system. Because the last couple of years only gave us some proof of concept, some pilots and spot use cases work in isolation rather than an orchestra of artificial intelligence solutions or agents working in harmony at the global scale. So I will tell you a few of my experiences with regard to that, and keeping it high level and short. So first, everything really starts with people, humans. So it's all about building teams, developing skills and talents, retaining talent, and also cultivate trust with all your stakeholders, especially around the fears of AI replacing people is a big one. And that has to be addressed very clearly across all stakeholders. And more importantly, at the people segment, I think developing an internal brand and its equity is critical. People should understand what the company is doing with AI, what's the purpose, what's the intention, what are the lessons learned, what the expectations are, etc., so that the success stories will only create a virtuous cycle. Second, I think the second critical thing is really starting everything with the information architecture. And that's, I think, the biggest one that everyone is missing. As many people nowadays started to talk, there is no AI without IA, information architecture. AI really requires a good information architecture to scale on. Your contextualization, the ontology of information should be there. Otherwise, the legacy fragmented functional enterprise information architecture really doesn't lend itself good with regard to AI. And this big scheme of understanding the information architecture is critical because it helps avoiding what I call use case myopia. Use cases don't work in isolation. Use cases should scale out, work together, and work in harmony at the global level. The third one is simplify. Simplify as much as you can. Simplify everything, and even if it is costly, because simplification always immensely pays off. My experience is the biggest cost driver for the modern enterprise is really complexity. So anything that reduces complexity immensely pays off. So even at the cost of redundancy, even at the cost of doing some activities twice or more than you really need, helps if they simplify, avoid exceptions, avoid fragmentation and proliferation of standards. And the fourth one is, of course, focusing on the exponential potential of the AI. So typically, people consider AI at the use case level and calculate the AI's return on investment only at the imminent future and only at the use case level. Whereas when you put various AI agents at work together, they create some type of network effect, and they synergize a lot, creating virtuous cycles, and they learn from each other. They help each other be more effective, more efficient. So that exponential potential is really important, and that should not be missed from the side. It is quite easy to get stuck with the marginal ROI when you evaluate projects. So if you look at the marginal ROI, many AI projects are not feasible. But if you look at the exponential potential, more or less every AI project is feasible. And last but not least, supply chain really is a mathematical phenomenon. So understanding the mechanics of supply chain is truly important, because that mechanics loops into my second point here, which is the information architecture. Every supply chain has its own knobs and levers, which has to be exposed as your configurable points, which needs to be optimized, which needs to be kept optimal, right? So exposing those levers and knobs in a clear way and making these part of your information architecture is truly critical. Whereas the temptation to get user stories and anecdotal evidence is very, very true. And it's basically a trap that creates a kind of myopia for artificial intelligence designers, developers for supply chain use cases. So if you consider these 5 points collectively, I call them kind of a recipe for continual value with AI, rather than kind of a recipe that would help you avoid stuck with AI use cases and spot value, rather than creating value at the global level, at the supply chain level. So that's all I wanted to share today. I wish everyone an effective and productive workshop. I will be attending some of the sessions. I really enjoyed the way we collaborated with IBM so far. I'm really excited to see the next sessions. Thank you.
So thank you very much for your presentation and speech. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Ali Taha Koç, Head of Digital Transformation Office of Presidency of the Republic of Turkey, in order to deliver his keynote speech. Sir.
I'm not doing anything wrong. Everything's okay, right? So, okay. So, esteemed director, distinguished professor, and guests, I'm so happy to be here. First of all, I just want to say that. So, having the vision to become the university of the industry, OSTİM Technical University and IBM have organized this AI and supply chain analytics in smart manufacturing hands-on workshop. So, again, I just want to remind you that I'm so happy to be here and joining this conference or workshop. And I would like to welcome all of you. OSTİM Technical University, which was established by the OSTİM Foundation, where we are, is a great example of university and industry cooperation. Your efforts to carry out your science and technology studies in coordination with the industry in a way that will add value to our country's economy are largely in line with the establishment of our office, Digital Transformation Office. Dear participants and dear guests, when it comes to digital transformation, we usually think about only technology. But in fact, digital transformation refers to a holistic transformation that is realized in people, business processes, and technology. We call this 3 pillars of digital transformation. In order to realize full potential of digital transformation, it is necessary to develop a reliable, interoperable, integrated, and effective digital Turkey ecosystem through developing a cooperation between institutions, universities, and government entities. Digital Transformation Office is the equivalent of a holistic vision and high-level coordination that will realize the expected transformation. As the Digital Transformation Office, we are trying to increase the competency in all digital areas, starting from artificial intelligence, big data, cybersecurity, of course, as well as the digital transformation of public. While these digitalization policies have been focusing on technological infrastructure in recent years, we need to focus on data. Digitalization is reshaped through location-independent data with innovative technologies. We don't know where the data is right now, which will result in a big global value chains. We need to think about data and from data to value. In the public and private sector, in order to adapt the new economic model, it is necessary to define the appropriate processes, move qualified human resources to new business eras, and bring the technology that affects every aspect of the life into the economy with innovative ideas. Around the world, labor and education policies are not keeping up with the pace of innovation in most countries, even including some of the largest and most innovative economies. At this point, a great deal of responsibility falls upon the shoulders of university industry cooperation. We aim to increase productivity through the collaboration of universities such as OSTİM University and organizations such as IBM. As all of us know, innovation puts pressure on employment. But when digital transformation is successfully implemented, new jobs and employment opportunities emerge thanks to the additional opportunities brought by growth. Today, businesses rapidly go through the digital transformation in order to survive and try to increase their competitiveness. Especially in these days during which we struggle with the COVID-19 pandemic, we are witnessing that digital technologies and large-scale data flows are fundamentally changing the way people live and people work. The main objective is to bring the skills required by digital transformation to the workforce. In this context, we continue to work on transforming professions and labor market as required by the digital economy. Countries are developing new curriculums that are digitalization and digital skills into account. As a matter of fact, lately, the European Commission defines two strategic priorities by outlining their digital education vision in 2021 and 2027 Digital Education Action Plan. I just want to talk about these two strategic priorities. The first one is to foster the development of digital education ecosystem. And the second one is to ensure the development of digital skills and competencies for digital transformation. The recent efforts in the field of education in our country are of a similar nature, as all of us know. It is crucial for our public institutions and organizations to digitize and ensure it is continuity in line with the needs of digital society. The capacity to produce innovative solutions is at the center of the human resource model of the future. With technological developments and improvements, some professions of today will be replaced by new ones in the near future. Whenever we talk about mining nowadays, we are not talking about the MTA mining, we are talking about data mining. In this respect, it is very important to prepare and the training and certificate programs that are needed to restructure our education system and adapt our existing human resources to the current conditions. Starting from the primary school, go up to our universities. University and industry cooperation provides numerous benefits to the parties. It provides academics with the opportunity to tackle challenging research problems through real-world applications, and also as well as to see the tangible implications of their research, and as well as to gain access to new skills, data, and equipment. When asked why global academy pioneers attach importance to the industry collaborations, 3 answers drove too much attention. The first one is better potential for social impact, better opportunities for students, and lastly, increased funding. In latest report in the Future of Jobs Report 2020, published by the World Economic Forum in October last year, 2020, it is emphasized that 40% of the basic skills required for employers will change in the next 5 years. 40% of the skills. And 50% of the all employees should acquire new skills. We need to do retraining all of our employees. The report envisioned that technological change will replace a set of skills in the labor market and also increase the demand for a new set of core skills such as analytical thinking and creativity. Dear attendees, I just want to talk a little bit about the artificial intelligence as well. Artificial intelligence lies in the heart of digital transformation. Data and artificial intelligence are critical factors for those looking to expand the impact of their businesses in this digital transformation era. Creating value from data lies at the core of all digital business transformations. Considering that 90% of the data produced throughout the history was produced in the last 2 years, as everybody is saying, data is as valuable as oil that steers the world economy. As all of us know, all data speak and tell us something, but the importance is we need to understand what that data tell us. Transforming data into value is only possible with a local and a national understanding. We initiated the works towards a new project which is called National Data Dictionary, which will include standards and definitions for all the data our public institutions create. Through the National Data Dictionary system, the standards and the data ownership and responsibilities of our public institutions regarding the data that they use in all applications and platforms will be determined. The goals of our national data project include creating a common language for public institutions, preparation of a national data inventory, and as well as creation of a central service design platform. Creating value from the data of Turkey, contributing to our society and economy by developing local and national softwares are absolute musts for us in the field of artificial intelligence and digital transformation. So we need to build our own software. Our artificial intelligence strategy, which is included in the 2020 presidential annual program, has been completed and presented to the opinion to our public institutions and organizations. Hopefully in the near future, we are gonna present this, our artificial intelligence strategy. Our national artificial intelligence strategy sets out the roadmap in the field of artificial intelligence technologies, includes the steps to be taken in the critical technology areas, and the priority work to be carried out for the training of qualified human resources in the field of artificial intelligence and digital transformation. AI can help institutions and organizations, both in the public and private sectors, become more innovative and more flexible and more adaptable than ever before with using AI. The promise of simplification of complex processes while making AI one of the most important driving force of digital transformation. How can we make the digital transformation and digitalization process more valuable through AI? Let me give you some examples. AI investments in drug discovery has increased significantly in 2020. Due to COVID-19 and pandemic process, we can understand that the drug industry is getting bigger and bigger. And it was 4.5 times higher compared to previous years, the AI investment on drug discovery. AI system can generate text, audio, and images to sufficiently high standards that humans have a hard time to telling the difference. So surveillance technologies all around the world is very common nowadays. So with using the AI, surveillance technologies are going to another edge. Surveillance technologies are also becoming fast, cheap, and increasingly ubiquitous. While the technologies required for large-scale surveillance are rapidly maturing, image classification, face recognition, video analysis, deepfakes, speech recognition techniques have all made significant progress in 2020. One of our goals is to accelerate the social benefits of AI while providing privacy, transparency, accountability, and, of course, social impact. During the pandemic, the use of digital services has become more important than ever to ensure the business and the government continuity and flexibility. The importance of protecting digital infrastructures increases in ensuring the national security of countries day by day. With the digitalization of services, terrorism has also spread to cyber environment. And cyber threats, which change in size and character, have made critical infrastructure and government entities a cyber threat target. The increasing number of cyber threats in recent years has prompted countries to take new measures regarding the protection of their digital infrastructure and to reassess their policies and strategies with a new and a holistic perspective. In Turkey as well, for this purpose, we generated a new national cyber security strategy and action plan covering the period 2020 and 2023 has been prepared and published with collaboration of Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure. Dear guests and dear participants, I would like to emphasize once again that developing the technological competency of Turkey is also among the most important priorities of our office. Combining the academy's scientific approach with the opportunities of the industry will also accelerate the digital transformation. Right now, actually due to COVID as well, it is exactly perfect time for transformation. This is the best time to think big and use these solutions as the building blocks for more agile business models. We must work in cooperation with all stakeholders to realize this big, important transformation. Finally, I just want to say that let's build our digital future all together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your speech. And distinguished guests and participants, we would like to thank to all of our speakers. Kindly note that the workshop will start at 5:30 Turkish time, and all participants and guests will have approximately 40-45 minutes from now on in order to register themselves with the WebEx system, which we sent the information as the university out of to your emails earlier. Hoping this workshop will be beneficial to all parties concerned. And we are at the end of our ceremony. Thank you so much for participating.